Anyway, look, I want to get to the most, I guess, substantive lie that's being spread. And honestly, it's one that I bought, at least as of yesterday. I'd heard this number thrown around, so I thought it was true. The idea of the dollar value of the weapons and vehicles that were left behind, you've probably heard this thrown around, this $83 billion. I thought that was actually true. It's not. Technically, $82.9 billion is the estimate for all spending on the Afghanistan security forces since 2001. So everything that has been spent, literally housing people, food, all of that is that. Now, back in 2017, Government Accountability Office report estimated that about 29% of the funds that were spent between 2005 and 2016 went to actual equipment and transportation. So assuming that that is true across the entire 20 years, that would be about $24 billion. And bear in mind, it's still a lot of vehicles. Between 2005 and 2016, US taxpayers paid for about 76,000 vehicles. That's 43,000 Ford Ranger pickup trucks, 22,000 Humvees, 900 MRAPs, 600,000 weapons, and more than 200 aircraft. But let's also bear in mind that there's two issues with that. So one, you might say, okay, so it's 24 billion rather than 83. Well, first of all, I think that actually knowing what you're talking about matters. That's why I'm correcting myself. But also, even that's not technically true because many of those vehicles were bought almost 20 years ago. They're not still in service. They don't have the maintenance to keep them going, even if they were now. And many, by the way, were actually destroyed in the run up to us leaving. So General Kenneth McKenzie announced that the military demilitarized 70 MRAPs, 27 Humvees, 73 aircraft, saying those aircraft will never fly again. They'll never be able to be operated by anyone. So
that doesn't matter, John.
Nonsense.
Such a weird fact that the military people have a process in place that if they leave equipment that it's useless. Oh my God, I guess you're gonna make up something else now. Now, instead of listening to people who maybe do this, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that they decommission or just break down things and make sure that they're unusable. If they leave them, fine. But you know what question isn't gonna get asked after we hear about $83 billion over the 20 years in Afghanistan? Why? That's the only question that doesn't get asked. You will throw that number around and talk about how much we left there and abandoned there, but you won't then go, so why are we prepared to approve yet another military bill that will provide trillions of dollars more for the next several wars? Yeah. Are we ready to ask those questions next? Because we're asking questions about how much we just wasted. Let's finish the conversation. Are we gonna waste it again?
Yeah.
Are you gonna vote to waste it again?
Yes. Yeah, they're already proposing raising the military budget.
Absolutely.
So we subtract a war, we raise the budget. Makes sense to me.
And we complain about the money we spent only because of the way we came out. That's the only time we worry about that.
Exactly. Yeah, and about like if anything fell into the hands of the Taliban, I hate it. But there's a few inconvenient facts about that narrative that they do not acknowledge. One, the weapons were not handed over to the Taliban. They were handed to a military and a government that was supposed to be able to stand. It didn't, but I got news for you. Without any of that stuff, there was no chance that it was going to. There was at least a chance. Yeah, second of all, they did do some, Trump keeps saying he wants them to have bombed all the bases or whatever, which by the way, were occupied by that military. So they did decommission a bunch of the stuff. Is he giving credit to them? No. And third of all, so what exactly happened? Trump started the withdrawal. He released all those Taliban fighters and everything. He set an earlier timeline. He wanted us to be out by spring rather than fall. So did he have a detailed plan to take back all of this equipment and destroy what we can't? Was that plan not followed by Joe Biden? Or is this something that he never even thought about and is just now saying it conveniently so that he can criticize a thing that technically he supports? Which do you think it is if you're watching this video right now? For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.